Good morning and welcome to another video. Okay, I've had a request from a guy called Majid actually. Uh, Basically saying, can I do a video regarding a company called OLA that's coming into the UK, and just to provide him with a background and what it means for us drivers, and so and so. Anyway, so I could do all that for you, Majid. That's no problem, mate. Right, OLA is India's largest cab hailing company, alongside with Uber, of course, and it's actually heading for the UK. It's a startup company that's valued at £3 billion. That's a startup valuation, that is. And it's marketing itself as it's going to be providing a very stiff competition for Uber. Okay, let's look at the timescales. They're saying they're going to come to 3 cities in Wales first, then to Manchester, and by the end of 2018 they're going to be nationally running. So, and that is quite aggressive considering it's August right now. What's the difference between Ola and Uber? Well, mainly it's the platform. Ola is going to be providing a platform that allows black cabs as well as private hire, and more is the commission rate he actually gives to the drivers is 10% for private hire and 5% for black cabs. So what do we know about Ola? Well, they're saying they're an international company with a global appearance, and you could somehow question that. Actually, they are very, very big in India. They recently gone into Australia, and obviously this is going to be their third move into the UK. But what's more interesting than that is actually who actually owns Uber itself, or who has a shareholding in that company. And there's a company called SoftBank, which you probably know of as well. Now, this is a very massive Japanese holding company, and he owns a lot of businesses, but for this exercise obviously we'll concentrate on the ride sharing portfolio it holds. Now, SoftBank owns 30% of Ola, he owns 15% of Uber, and another massive company, a Chinese company actually, Didi, who owns 20%. So you can see this SoftBank has a very, very high exposure of the ride-sharing industry, and that should give you an indication of who actually is making all the move in the ride-sharing industry at the same time. So is Ola going to be finding it hard or easy in the UK? And SoftBank will provide the answer actually, because this is a company that owns Uber as well, 15%, as I said earlier. And so you would have gathered a lot of knowledge on how to conquer the UK market through the experience of Uber itself. Uber at the same time, has the largest has the largest rideshare market in Europe. So, this ain't a small market Ola's coming into. And you could also argue that that is one of the reasons why Ola went to Australia first, and used that as a stepping stone to come into UK, because the Australians actually resemble a lot of the UK mentality and culture and everything. So that's probably one of the reasons why they went to Australia first. Right, so are they going to be successful in the UK? And that is probably the $1 million question. Now, let's look at Uber first. They've had more or less success everywhere they went. But there's 2 places they really found stiff competitions, and those are in India, in the likes of Ola, and in China, in the like of Didi. but there's a common thing between them two there. OLA and Didi are actually their own country's origin brand. So when Ola comes to UK now, they haven't actually got a brand people are familiar with. So that's the reason, one of the reasons Uber found it hard in their market, because it's their own they're competing with. So why would Ola come to Wales first rather than the London, you might ask? And the reason is, I really don't know. I really don't know why they've gone into Wales first. Now, is it competition? I doubt it. Wales got some very, very big local private hire cab companies, so it's not competition. Competition is there. Is it the regulators themselves, the councils? And that could be one of the things, but I'm not sure how tough. I'm sure they're not tough as TfL, but that's one of the things that could be why they're going down there. But what's more interesting is the next step they'll be doing, which is coming to the Manchester area. And the interesting fact there is Manchester has the largest Indian ride-sharing companies in the UK. So I'm thinking now that they probably use that, because Ola in India itself is a massive company, and it's not just a ride-sharing company there. They have loads of other businesses there. So I'm hoping they're thinking, let's go to Manchester. People will be this is the largest Indian community that uses ride sharing, and we could probably catapult from there. So that's the reason I reckon, more of a calculated move by Ola to why they're going into Manchester next. Okay, let's look at another theory while we're at it. In the USA, a Lyft, well, in the UK actually, it's more us than the Americans themselves. We've had rumors in presses, in social media, that in the UK Lyft is coming over, and Lyft is going to provide competition to Uber, this and that and everything. So everyone get ready to move up to Lyft. There's a lot of rumors circulating there. So could it be that Ola, which already owns Uber, is actually saturating the market in the UK? So if you look at a scenario where if you owned a fish and chip shop in a small village, and you knew everybody, and if there was a local shop, an extra vacant shop that went, you'd actually buy that vacant shop, just to making sure that no one else opens another fish and chip shop, and then you got two as well at the same time. So are they doing that sort of a scenario where they are saturating the market more? What does it mean for local bases? Now, that is major concern, Ola coming into the UK for local bases. Now, obviously, drivers left bases in their herds. They just left them, no loyalty whatsoever, paid to the companies that probably fed them for all those years. As soon as they seen Uber, off they went. So, but there's still few left there, and obviously some have come back because they've been deactivated by Uber. So you got a few that's come back there. Some haven't have gone to Uber and come back because of their commission rate, which is too high. But Ola now provides that commission rate at 10%. So drivers who have stayed with local bases purely because their weekly rent probably equated to around the 10% mark, well, probably think about Ola now, because it's probably more attractive for them. So that is a major headache now for local bases, providing obviously at the same time Ola provides the work, well, same minimum equivalent to the same amount of work that local base would offer. So that is a major concern. What about the black cab industry? Well, you know, they're very hard, let's be frank, you know, and it's going to get even harder for them with all these new emission vehicle for a lot of them cities moving into, and for them to convert into electric. I mean, some of these electric black cabs, you know, they're running into the region of, you know, £55,000. So I'm not sure how they're going to afford that. And cabs who are actually governed by the council, you know, but they don't get any real help from the council. And the ability to change with technology is like it's non-existent. And companies like Get, who's you know, try and tell them, you know, this is how we, you know, this is how you should be moving with technology, are just basically abusing them really with some of the, you know, schemes they run. So I hope this provides a quick background to what Uber's all about, OLA's all about, and also gives you a bit of an insight of, you know, the actual guys who are playing, well, pulling the strings in this industry. You could see SoftBank. Now, if I told you now, what's the likely chance of someone like Didi coming to the UK or Lyft coming to the UK? You know, you probably say, well, you know something, Lyft, Didi's got a more chance of coming now because of the connection of SoftBank, where they probably want to saturate it more so that, you know, Lyft has no chance of coming into the market. And also at the same time, you can see now, you know, if you're starting to get the likes of Ola coming into the UK and one or two other brands, big brands, international brands, they eventually will, you know, get rid of local firms. You know, there's no doubt about it. So that scenario there looms very gloomy for local bases and for the black cab industry at the same time. So that's it really. I hope that answers your question, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye bye now.